I'm here with the great Matt of Cryptopsy to talk about the Juno, to talk about something that you guys did that nobody had ever done before, play a metal show in Saudi Arabia. But before we talk about that, I'm gonna let Matt tell you guys where we are today, because this is definitely not backstage at the Phoenix.
Yes, exactly. We are at Steadfast Brewing. They invited me here today to enjoy their delicious beers. They have a very cool metal chef here. Miguel is cooking, is what his brand is. His name is Miguel. He made us some delicious tacos, some nice guacamole with some chips, tortilla chips. We've been having a great time. The place isn't even open, but they opened for us. So thank you to Steadfast. Thank you to Miguel is cooking. Love it.
I'm going to put in the description of the video the address to the place, so if you guys are ever in Toronto,
I just poured beer all over myself. All over myself.
These kind of shenanigans are not going to get him to Valhalla, that's for sure. So I'm going to put in the description of the video the address, so if people are in Toronto and they want to come and check out this place, I highly recommend it. The food was great.
Very good.
I'm glad he dragged me along, because that way I got to eat some of the food as well. But enough about that. Let's talk about Cryptopsy, and let's talk about the Juno.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Were you expecting it? Would you have been mad if you didn't win?
I was not expecting to win. When you are nominated for a Juno with Voivod, typically from history, Voivod tends to do a lot of cool shit and always be asked to do cool things. I have a funny side story, is that I'm friends with the bassoon player of the orchestra in Montreal, and he hit me up and he was like, he's a big fan of the podcast, fan of Cryptopsy. And he was like, we're doing like a collab show with a metal band from Montreal, but I can't tell you who. And I was like, it's Voivod. It's always Voivod. So we were not expecting to win, because Voivod was there, and they always end up winning stuff. And Cataclysm was there, and Ken Mode was there, and Danko Jones have been nominated 6 times and hadn't won as of yet. So I was expecting maybe them to throw him a bone.
Not for that album. Not for that album.
I didn't listen to it.
Not for that album.
He was there yesterday. He'll be here tonight, actually. But it was cool. The event in my mind was on the Sunday, the Junos, and we played our last show of the Unquestionable Blasphemy tour with Atheists on the Saturday, and we had like a long drive day. So I was planning to just find out if we won once we got to the airport, type thing. So I get off stage after the last show of the tour. It's always emotional when you finish a tour. They did the prank where everyone came up in their underwears and shot off like confetti shit. They were just having, it was fun, you know, so I was super high from that. I step off stage, I'm talking to the fans, taking pictures, and Kelly from Atheist comes up to me and goes, Matt, you won. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I won. It's tomorrow. It's not today, it's tomorrow. But because metal is a subcategory, which it shouldn't be, it wasn't a part of the main gala. It was the day before, which was the Saturday. So I watched the video. I screamed. Like I was very excited, and it was an amazing experience.
Was it a King Diamond scream, or?
No, it was like I couldn't believe it. It was like, and then like fans, I was taking pictures with fans, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just won. I won. And then we had an 18-hour drive to Berlin. So we partied.
To soak it all in.
We partied, we took a nap, we partied, we took a nap. We bought a bottle of champagne on the ferry and drank that, made a video, which some of you may have seen, that we were a little bit inebriated because we were very happy. And then yesterday, or 2 days ago actually at this point, my parents, I shipped the Junos to my parents because I knew I'd be on tour when they'd be coming. So my parents brought the Junos, and I carried them to the venue from my house in Montreal. The second day we played Montreal, and they're so heavy. Very cool. It's like, then we had a photo shoot, the pictures will come out soon.
So let me ask you this, what are you going to do with them? Are they going to have like a predominant spot in your mantle? Or are you going to use them as a doorstopper?
No, the funny story is that when we got nominated, I have 2 children. My kids were like, you're going to win, and the statue's going in our room. So even if I was going to lose, I was going to buy them like a crappy trophy just to put in the room. But now that I got it and it's so heavy, my kids share a room. So I don't think we can put it in the room because they might hit each other with it. It's really heavy. It's like 30 pounds.
Is the award, like winning a Juno obviously doesn't have the same appeal, or doesn't have the same
of a Grammy,
of a Grammy, but it is the Canadian Grammys, so for us it does have that importance.
It helps when you say that. When, like that, I tend to, and I want a Juno, it's the same thing as a Grammy, you know, is what I tell people. Nothing has changed as of yet. We are getting more factor grants coming in, but hypothetically that would have happened nonetheless. But maybe the Juno helped with our grading on factor, but that's the only thing that I've seen change since that, sadly, yeah.
And for you guys as artists, winning the Juno is not going to change who you are. It's not going to change You're not going to be like, okay, the next album has to win a Juno, because now we're at the top of the mountain.
Well, I would like for the next one to win a Juno too, but like, as we talked before we pushed record, was Cryptopsy had never submitted. You know, would None So Vile have won? Was there a metal category back then? If there was, None So Vile should have won.
I agree.
We've never submitted any of our albums before.
Maybe you can remaster it, re-release, and then submit it.
2026, people.
You know?
None So Vile, 30 years, here it comes.
Just throw like 1 or 2 new tracks in it,
there you go.
And it's a new record.
There you go, but we can't win for that though, because the re-recording is weird,
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a precedent, so I think you can pull it off. I think you can pull it off, and I think that the award from my standpoint, like I said, it is the Canadian Grammy, so I think you have to look at it from that perspective. It's not something small, even though the industry here doesn't really pay its dues in attention to it. The fact it's not even televised, it's kind of like an afterthought. And
Correct.
I found out through a tweet. Like,
I thought it was very funny that whoever announced us, I'm sorry, that she seemed very perturbed. She was like reading like their latest social media post says Cryptopsy is still devastating Europe, and it's like totally me that made that post. And my wife was like, you know, there's a war in Ukraine, or like
totally not sensitive
to those. You should not be saying these things, man. I was like, oh, you're right. God damn it. Now I understand why she was so like awkwardly presenting this.
But
I don't even think I would have gone if I was home. Honestly,
you wouldn't have gone to the show.
I wasn't expecting to win. I wasn't. I wouldn't have gone. Yeah.
Wow.
For us to have to pay everything and go out there to
there's also that. There's also
sit
that.
and hypothetically lose.
And not even be on TV.
I'd have to buy. There's too many expenses. I know,
and you're not even on TV. It's not like you can have that speech like I want to thank God,
yes,
you know, or my parents who are watching right now, and my kids go to bed.
I don't know what the speech would be. That's funny. Well, I never even thought about what my speech would be.
Because if you were there, you would obviously had an opportunity to say
do a
something.
speech, which I haven't even thought about what I'd say. I'd thank Chris, the guitarist of Cryptopsy. He made that album. He is the one that made As Gomorrah Burns. It's without him, the Cryptopsy would not be where it is now. So he's here over there right now drinking beer.
Yeah, he didn't want to be on camera, guys. So for a guy who rocks the stage, he was camera shy. I can't believe that's even a thing, but it is. I was blown away by I had 2 horses in this race. I love Ken Mode, don't get me wrong. I do love Ken Mode.
Yeah.
I've had him on the channel several times.
Yeah.
It's a band that I really enjoy. I thought their last 2 records were really cool because it's like a yin and a yang, if you will. So you almost have to listen to both albums
to get the full experience.
Yeah. So I love Ken Mode. I think they're a great band, very underrated and unknown in certain parts.
I'd love to play with them. I'd love to tour with them. And Jesse,
great people. Jesse's a great guy. Like,
we love you and thank you for everything you're doing for
So I had a few horses in that race, but obviously I was really hoping that either you guys or Cataclysm would win.
And that's another thing. Cataclysm had already won, so there's a precedent. Sometimes, like, whoever judges this, you know, I had all this in my mind. You know, Voivod, them, Ken Mode, who had already won as well.
So, but having already won, wouldn't that put things a little bit more in your favor? Because it's like all of these guys already won, but these guys didn't win.
They all have, except for Danko and us. So we were very happy. We were very happy. We did like a whole photo shoot in Montreal the other day with the Junos, which will come out soon. It was, it's cool. It's a very unique experience. I'm from Two Mountains, and my friend from Matt Deli was telling me, Matt, you're probably the only person from Two Mountains that can say you're a Juno Award winner. I'm
here with a Juno winner. Like, that's incredible for me. I'm going to put that on my resume.
We were going to bring it out on stage in Montreal. I had this whole thing planned, and Flo was like, no, it's too pretentious, don't do it. So I just like casually said like, we're going to play a song from our Juno Award winning album, and it totally didn't work. The crowd didn't understand. But if we would have come out with, I had this whole thing. Anyway, I didn't.
You would have done like a Simba Lion King thing, you know, like a Lion King moment. Yeah, I think that would have been really cool as well.
I think so. You're wrong,
and you know
Flo.
what, like,
you're wrong, Flo. It would have been good.
Why you're listening to a drummer?
He's the king, though. He's Cryptopsy's king. You gotta listen to.
You gotta bow down to the king. Yeah.
At worst case, I would have looked pretentious, and then half the people that know me be like, "Man, it's not pretentious. Forget that."
No, that's totally not you. But one thing that I thought was really interesting as well is that 3 bands nominated for that Juno have Montreal roots.
Yes.
So and you live there. You're not just from there.
I literally
you live
there.
there. What is it about Montreal that makes it such a hotbed of metal when it comes to Canada?
I interviewed a lot of people and I've asked this question before, so I have like my answer that I've put together from a bunch of people's responses, and it is tied to this. Back in the 70s, progressive rock from the UK, such as Genesis, Yes, used to come and tour Quebec, and they would play at the CEGEPs. The CEGEPs is basically our colleges. And all these young musicians were exposed to this extremely progressive music at these shows. At the same time, in the biker bars, there was a bunch of heavy blues going on. So these same kids were also going to those shows. And one of those kids was Piggy from Voivod. And that's exactly where Voivod came from. The progressive rock from the UK, the heavy blues influenced Voivod. And then Voivod went on, and I just found this out recently from Away when I hung out with him at my 5th anniversary for the podcast, said that they started Cité 2000, and Cité 2000 is an iconic jam location for many, many, many bands for the past 30 years. But Voivod is the ones that started that place, and I had no idea that it was that. So once again, it's Voivod. It's always Voivod.
When in doubt, Voivod.
So many bands practice in this place, Cité 2000. And like, there's this healthy sense of competition, which happened in the 90s, where they wanted to, Cataclysm, Cryptopsy, Gorguts, they were all practicing there. They all wanted to like one-up each other. They would hear what's going on in the other rooms and like just pushing themselves. And then that just evolved into more and more healthy competition of people just wanting to be the fastest, the best, the most extreme. Then Stéphane Mellul comes into the picture with BCI concerts, and he would bring in just, Montreal is a hotbed because it's a touring stop. Bands stop there because of people like Stéphane, Heavy Montreal, because of Dave from Extensive. They put on these shows, they take the chance, and we get to be exposed to the best artists. And that's been happening for the past 30 years. So many young musicians practice at Cité, get to be exposed to amazing music, and see what's really, really cool. And I remember being in a band before I was in Cryptopsy, 3 Mile Scream, and seeing members of Cryptopsy walking around Cité and being like, I practice here, he practices here, he tours the world. It's feasible. You know, if you see people,
it's reachable. It's an attainable goal.
Yes.
It's not like something you're watching on TV or
like,
whatever.
he's just a dude. He just pissed in the same urinal I pissed in. You know, like we're on the same level here. It's just he tours the world. It's attainable. So a lot of those things is really it. And then there's like this medicine cabinet, I call it, of reliable people in Montreal, which is how I got the gig for Cryptopsy. Who do you know that can do this? And we all know someone, because everyone talks, everyone's friends, everyone is connected. Montreal's music scene is very, very healthy. Yeah. But there's zero toxicity. There's no jealousy. It's all gone. It's like we're just high tides, as Jamie Jasta says all the time, raises all ships. So we are very healthy music scene. Then Chris is a producer, so everyone goes through Chris. Wants to work with Chris, and Chris is just like this center of the spider web now, which is amazing.
Yeah, he's done great work with Beyond Creation, amongst others, but
Despised Icon, the list goes on. Get the Shot recently. Get the Shot are so hot right now, just on and on,
Yeah, Montreal is definitely something in the water. They're like the Finland of Canada, if you will, but...
it's not finished, too. There's like new bands coming up. Scorching Tomb is a band to watch from Montreal. Tom, who replaces Ollie when he's on tour with Dom Grimau, just recorded them. They have a new album coming out soon, and the band to watch, one of this like new resurgence of death metal.
I saw a black metal band, I can't remember their name now, but they're on tour with 1349.
Oh shit. Philip, the drummer. Yes, I'm sorry.
You know who I'm talking
Shataylist?
I can't remember.
There's Shataylist, which is also super sick, and that's Philip. And there's also the dude from First Fragment that's in that.
Yeah, there's
Phil.
There's great bands. Montreal is definitely insane. And then a place that's perhaps not as insane when it comes to a metal scene is Saudi Arabia. And you guys beat everybody and became the first band to ever play in Saudi Arabia.
It was really weird to get that email from Juno. Shout out to Juno, Song for Song, Slam Man Booking Asia, the best. He's the best. I can't wait to. We'll do more. You know we're gonna do more. As a band, when you go on tour, you don't think about stuff. You just do what is in the email. So we didn't realize until I did a an Instagram live with Gigi, the organizer, who happens to be a girl, which is amazing.
Yeah. I actually met her in Norway at Inferno. She's amazing. She's amazing.
She's amazing. What's the name of their company?
Ooh. I have the business card at my
Heavy
desk.
Saudi, I can't remember. Anyways, sorry, Gigi. I did an Instagram live, and then I didn't realize that no band had been there yet, and that it was going to be like a monumental thing. And then I had seen like Metal Injection or Metal Sucks had been posting that Metallica was going to be the first band there.
Yeah, because I think by the time before you guys got announced, they were booked to play.
Correct. The sound something.
Yeah, but it was after the date that you guys ended up playing.
So I knew that. So I landed. We hung out with Gigi. Heavy Saudi's the name of her company. We hung out. She took amazing care of us. There's no beer, sadly, in Saudi, which was very bad for my identity, but I survived. We get there. We hung out. We had a great time, and then I knew already that I had to let the world know that it wasn't Metallica, that it was actually Cryptopsy. So I hit up Frank from Metal Injection, who I love, and he just like presented my whole beer project last year. He's very nice, he always responds to me. So I hit him up and I was like, what if like we give you everything in a nice little package? Like I'll give you a quote from Gigi, I'll get you pictures from the show. Can you like spread the word that Metallica was not the first? And he most definitely did. Thank you to Greg too, from who runs Metal Injection for Frank. It was everywhere. It was, you could not open your phone and not see Cryptopsy beats Metallica. Yeah.
You can't beat that publicity.
It was a crazy show. It was small, I'll be honest. There was like 100, 150 people there. The room was adequate. It wasn't too big, so it didn't feel weird. But there was like, I couldn't swear. They had like given me like a guideline.
Wow.
I couldn't swear, we couldn't spit, we couldn't...
Could you headbang?
We could headbang, but I couldn't ask them to do anything.
So you couldn't say to them, like you couldn't...
Circle pit,
no,
I wasn't allowed.
Crowd surfing, nothing like that?
I wasn't allowed, no.
But if they did it, would it have been okay?
They did it themselves, which is very cool. So I always tend to say, and I'm going to swear now, is bang your fucking heads. There's like this whole thing in Graves of the Fathers. So I said, bang your Saudi heads, which is just funny, but it worked. And every time I said, I'm like, let me see your Saudi hands instead of fucking hands, you know?
Yeah.
Chris was dying the whole time. But it was very, very cool. The catering was great. They need beer in Saudi, but it felt like Las Vegas. It was insane.
Minus the beer.
Exactly, but it was
And the strippers.
Insane. I think you can find strippers. But
you can find strippers, but not beer.
Well, you can get beer. They offered this. There's like a black market thing for beer where it was like $300 for a 6-pack of Heineken or something. We're like, forget it.
Holy shit, that's Live Nation prices.
You know what we haven't said yet? Yeah, Belgian Jasper, no good, bad.
Yeah.
Bad. AP-REACTS, good.
Who wants waffles in the summer? I mean, really, nobody.
I don't even eat chicken.
He's like the worst thing to come out of Belgium since chocolate. So.
I agree.
At least for people with diabetes. Chocolate is bad.
But we had a good time. Saudi was very cool. There's people in full religious dress.
At the show?
In the pit.
Wow.
And there was a girl in like a full...
Oh, I was going to ask you that. Was there like girls as well, or just dudes?
There's a full in religious dress that took a selfie with me. And apparently was screaming, Cryptopsy, Cryptopsy. But it's unbelievable. Just very strange, yeah.
Did it surpass all your expectations going in, or did you have any expectations?
I had once I realized after that Instagram Live, the magnitude of it, I think I was ready and I knew what it would be, and it was exactly that. It was very cool. Flo played like on this little tiny drum set. The kick drum was so small. It was funny.
How many days did you guys end up staying? Because it's
3. We came in early and then we hung out for one night. We landed and then we had a full day off and then we played and then we left. Yeah. Then we went to Istanbul.
So you still got to experience a little
We went
bit
around.
of the culture.
We went around. What was mostly shocking for them, from my perspective, was that Juno Slam Man booking had like a tennis ball colored hair, lime green hair, and the kids, we went to this like theme park attraction thing, and the kids just were so, they had to touch his hair. They wanted to see if it was real. More than me and my long hair. They were really, really enthralled by that. But the metal scene has been happening in Saudi for many, many years, and people used to, it was illegal to host metal shows and to be a metalhead. So people would go to a coffee shop and like sit down and buy tickets like a drug deal for like 10, 15 years before they put an end to the religion police, the religious police. There's like a name for it, I don't remember. But like they would like, if you had long hair and walking in the street, they would like grab you, pull you down, and like cut off your hair. It was like, it was illegal to be a metalhead back in the day. So,
but being a foreigner visiting and whatever.
But now it's like Las Vegas. It's like they want this.
They want tourism now.
They want this now. And it feels like Las Vegas. There's like lights everywhere in the sky. It's crazy.
So what's next for you guys? In 1 year, you win the Junos.
Oh, we're announcing on Monday. I can tell you where we are. We're going on tour again in the fall with Carnifex, actually. I'll say it again, with Carnifex without...
Can you say that again?
Carnifex without my voice cracking. It's Carnifex, Cryptopsy, Mental Cruelty, Organectomy, and one more band that I was...
Mental Cruelty is on that bill?
Yeah.
I just saw them...
That's it in Toronto in October.
I saw them last October.
Yeah.
They were on a tour with Of Sulfur, and they were killer. The last record was killer. So that's an outstanding lineup.
That's a good tour. And that's a lot of Canada, like real Canada tour, which is something that we haven't done since Gore in 2015, 16. I can't remember, but so like we're hitting all across Canada, just about, except for Halifax. I'm sorry, Halifax, New Brunswick. We'll make it happen.
They can always
eventually.
fly to the East Coast and find the show somewhere.
Yeah.
Before we go, just want to ask you two really quick things. One is, besides the tour, anything else in the works as far as new music? So that you can get that next Juno, so you can go back to back?
We just signed a new record deal. We are very excited. We're going to announce this in the next few weeks. We are literally writing a new record on this tour. We are very, very, very excited about that. We want to get the ball rolling. We want to be consistent. With me at the helm, with Flo right beside me, we are driving this machine for the next 10 years. Cryptopsy is here. And I want to do consistent records for the next 10 years, celebrating some very iconic records, specifically in 2026, if people are smart enough to figure it out. But we're very excited.
That remastered Juno is coming.
We'll see about that. But
at least I'm hoping for that. Last question for you, because this is a hot topic right now about the visa costs for the US. You guys being a Canadian band, does it affect you guys?
Well, totally. It's totally taking money out of each of our pockets. I saw it happen, but we had just applied for this one, and I don't think it affected the costs of this one, but it was still very expensive. So no matter what happens when you do a visa, they always want you to do the expedited visa, which increases it by thousands of dollars. Yeah. So it sucks. It sucks. People will be mad because we'll probably end up raising prices of merch or something.
Yeah, the money's got to come from somewhere.
60 is the new 30. We talked about it.
That's what I told
before.
You. 60 is the new 30.
It's what sucks is that it's the fans are suffering because we still have to. You know, if I'm gonna leave my family and go out there, we gotta make a base dollar. You know, like.
I said that was my last question, but I asked Maurizio this, so I want to get your take on it. Canada is really widespread, but I see some bands. I don't know if you noticed, but Benighted announced that they're doing an East Coast Canadian run with Cognitive in the fall.
I love you. I love them both. I love Rob is a good man. Julien, Pedro, the rest of Benighted, I love you.
I love those two guys too. Yeah. I love those bands. I'm going to be at their Toronto show at Sneaky D's, and they're doing that, and that kind of, piqued the interest in my mind of, is Canadian a market enough that for bands that don't want to spend that money to go to the US, maybe they can just come to Canada and do a Canadian run only?
I think yes. The issue is Ontario is so big There needs to be a hot, like Sudbury has to get better, Thunder Bay has to get better. If you want that to happen, those two markets have to become better. Because from experience, you know, Toronto rules. You can hit. We're doing London. I haven't played London forever. We're doing
London is getting better and better.
It's
and bigger and bigger shows too.
It's like interesting. We're playing there in 2 days, so it's or tomorrow actually. So Ontario is so big. I know that Halifax rules. I know that Moncton's going to be crushing.
And Montreal, Quebec.
I know Montreal, Quebec. Ottawa. We did Kingston on the last run, Stefan. I still don't like you because of that.
Kingston is a weird one.
I don't like it. Let's not do it again. I'm sorry, whoever's
in Kingston.
Toronto is cool. It's so big, and then you know that like Manitoba is going to be good. So there's that. It's so unless you just do a drive day, and treat it like those like states in the States, upper religious states beneath Alberta, that we just drive through instead of playing shows. If you treat it like that, then yes, because I know that like Manitoba's going to be killer. With Corey Thomas, Ninja Cat Productions, you're gonna have a good show. Alberta, killer. Both.
Yeah, BC is not gonna be a problem.
And then Victoria, I think it's feasible. I would hope that that's the solution. I would love for that to be that. And we've been talking about we want to tour Canada for a long time, but we need like bandwagons are expensive, so people got to show up.
Yeah, that's true. And I think people are showing up to these shows. I'm going to be at tonight's show, and I know some friends that are going to the London show because those ones are all ages.
Nice.
And the Toronto stuff is not all ages.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So some folks who are not 19 are going to London, so it's kind of spreading the crowd into both locations.
No, yesterday was great. So it tends to be the second night is even better, and it's Friday. It's going to be great. We'll sell it on them.
I think it's going to be a great night. I just hope I don't see vinyls for $150, but that's a different
story.
story.
My name is not a sink.
but you know, go check out their merch. Remember, 60 is the new 30, but in this case, they're selling it for a little bit lower than that. It's a steal these days, the prices of merch that you guys are putting forward. So when you consider the ecosystem, it's a steal. Go pick it up.
I'm going to raise the prices because Pedro said so.
Oh fuck! Don't do that and say that. Like I'm gonna get murdered for that. So don't do that. But go support these guys. Pick up some merch. And super excited about that Carnifex run. Fuck, that is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we have that. I'm planning the next year already. We have that, and then there's a mythical tour that has not happened since before I was in the band that is in the works for 2025, so I hope so, yeah.
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so you heard it here first, and once again, I'm going to put links in the description of this video. I'm going to put information about all the tour dates that these guys are going to be on for the rest of this run. Steadfast, the links, the address. I didn't drink, and somehow I'm having a hard time finding my words. But anyways, all the information is going to be in the description of this video, so go check these guys out on the road. Tell them I sent you there, and it doesn't get you anything for free or whatever, but I'll get you a pat in the back.
I'll give you a hug.
Okay, that's good. You get a hug.
If you want, bring me a beer.
It's better than nothing. Yeah. That's the way to his heart. It's not his stomach. It's a beer.
It's a beer.
Eventually ends up in the stomach.
Some
on the floor. Some was on the floor.
It was on me a bit.
So
much. I was hanging out with Belton Jasper yesterday, and this was so much better. Belton Jasper sucks.
You heard it here. You heard it from the man. Juno winner. He knows what he's talking about. All right, we'll see you guys.